All right, everyone. I'm very excited because we have Liz here. Liz, thank you for being here. You guys know me. I am Coach Narit. And before we get started, I just want to remind everyone for every comment, love, emoji, anything like that, Liz is going to get rich because we're going to give her $1 towards Amazon. Okay, so Liz, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
I'm Liz Small. I am a school counselor. Went back to school in my later 50s, changed careers, and I'm returning to an elementary school that I moved to just about a year ago. I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. All right, so you have a really inspirational story. We love your photos, but tell us kind of where you were before you started our program and where your health was and where you were before.
I would say, I think I signed up like around February last year. And the winters are usually harder for me, just in general. Um, I think it's more about the light. Like I had a diagnosis of SAD, which is like a seasonal affective disorder years ago. So I try to, get as much light as I can in the winter, but sometimes that's hard because it's, cloudy, rainy and such. So that kind of that emotional eating would happen for me more around that time. And just kind of feeling stress about the change of schools that I had last year. Just a lot of new things coming at me all at once. So kind of a combination of the two. And just feeling like I needed some help with, more direction about my health. Actually, the past school counselor that was at my school, that she was a member, and I think there was somebody else in my community that I knew, and I was like, you know what, I should give them a call and try it. So I did.
Yay. All right, well, tell us what are your biggest wins since you started the program?
Just feeling kind of more in control of my health. Um, I just went on a huge trip to Italy with my husband. We celebrated 25 years of marriage, and I think when we came back, we looked at it was a walking tour. We walked over 30 miles between the three cities.
That's
And
pretty amazing.
there's no way I could have done that last February. So that's probably my biggest win, just being able to do all that.
I remember like our first call, right? So before you started this journey with us, did you have any concerns, any doubt, anything you were afraid of, kind of skeptical about?
Um, Probably just, staying on track with the tracking for me. And I think I was kind of planning on the fly, and I think it was Sarah. She was like, "Oh no, you can plan like ahead of time. You can put your food in like the day before." And I just I didn't realize that I could plan like that. And once I started thinking more about that, kind of that food store planning, and meal planning, then it just seemed like, it was just easier to follow.
How did the experience help you kind of overcome your fears of starting something new?
I think it was the supported calls, the calls that you would have on Tuesdays, kind of the community, looking at other people's wins and what other people were doing for, snacks and different ideas, just having different ideas from other people and you're like, oh, I could try that. And finding things for myself that worked, in relationship to other people too. And that, like you always say, like, no matter what's going on with your life, like things are just going to keep happening. You just have to keep pushing through. And that was a big one for me, just realizing that no matter what, things are just going to keep happening, but you can plan your food. So, that was a big one for me. And I really enjoyed the workouts too, like just getting them on my phone, being able to do them at home, fitting them in around my work hours, because I mean, you're so busy there, like you're going to go to the gym, no. So being able to do the stuff at home and just getting, I had some free weights here and just making a little space in my house to work out, that really helped as well. So yeah.
And I want you to think, because I love that you are talking about like this is a big mindset thing, is like doing it even though, life, kids, work, all that stuff. What do you feel like are some mindset, perspectives? Like what changed your mindset perspective while participating, while being a part of this program?
I think it was just, for me, it was like the movement and the food together, like they kept fueling kind of each other. So I was able to do more once I was like doing the planning. So I just felt like my workouts were getting better. And I was like, oh, look at that. So like each little win kind of was shifting my mind as I went. Um, and I didn't feel like I was like emotionally eating as much as I had been in the past. I was just kind of staying this course. So, and even when I was on vacation, I was thinking about what am I going to order? I'm like in Italy, like, and everybody's like, no, just have some fun. But I still was thinking about like, what's my protein? What am I going to have? And on vacation. So, once it enters your head, it's like it's in there. It's just in there now. So I think about it and I think about, the vegetables and the fruits and all that stuff. So I think in an overall, it's just that whole health kind of mindset. Yeah.
And I love that. And you look really good and you feel really good. But I also want to talk about like the the lifestyle, right? So like did we ever tell you like no eating chocolate, don't enjoy Italy, like you can't have
Oh
any
no.
kind of food?
No, no, because I mean, we were walking over 17,000 steps a day or something crazy like that, So no, I had my gelato. I mean, I have my cookie. Like I think yesterday was National Cookie Day or something. I had a chocolate chip cookie, you know. So it's not like I don't have. Yeah, no. I never felt like I was being um, told no, I couldn't do that. Definitely not.
Yeah. I wanted you to think about like other experiences, like past experiences. Have you had like trying to get in shape, trying to lose weight? What were those like in comparison to this?
Um, I think I wasn't able to. I think it was like the combination with the food with the workouts because I think I was either doing just like one or the other. I wasn't combining the two. So, and then I would do it for a short period of time and then I'd go back to whatever else I was doing, just kind of the grab and go stuff. Um, and I feel like this is more about food. It's not like the shakes and like the pre-prepped stuff. There was somebody in my neighborhood that was doing, I think it was Opta or something like that. And it like none of it tasted good. I mean, you might have been losing some weight, but it didn't teach you how to eat, So I didn't, yeah, I tried it for like a couple of weeks and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It just, to me, wasn't worthwhile because it didn't teach you about food and the whole macro thing and the protein, how your body shifts and how your muscle builds and all of that. So it wasn't that kind of education. It's like this is a lot more education, you know.
So, like, when you talk about like this is a lot more education, how do you feel like, with this program and understanding and experiencing life and, it being not just getting you results because you've gotten great results, but like the sustainable part of the results, like
Oh yeah,
living it?
yeah. No, definitely feel like I can just continue this no matter, I mean, we're still off work right now and then going back in a couple weeks. So it's I don't feel like it's going to stop. It's just going to keep going. And it's funny, but some other people in my house have lost weight because of my cooking style shifted too. So, yeah, I definitely, my husband, I think, looks healthier as well. It just like osmosis kind of thing. Um, and, the workouts as well. And everybody's, going, I think, thinking a little bit more about it, like the gym and things like that too. Um, so there's days that like, three people from my house were all going to the gym together. So that I don't think that happened as much. It was more like people were doing their own thing, but it's kind of spreading in my house as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. That happens to a lot of people in the program. So I have a question for you. What would you say to somebody kind of like who was thinking about doing our program? Maybe they followed us for a while or they're a new follower and they're seeing, all these, testimonials and they're seeing our content. And they're like, wow, like this seems like for me, but they're kind of afraid and they're thinking about, booking a call with us, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. What would you say to somebody like that?
I would just say, it's this is the time for you. For me, that was a big thing. It was my time. I had worked so hard to do so many things for other people, and I was like, no, I got to do this for me because, I mean, I'm a little bit over 60 now. I'm 61, which is just crazy. And people are like, no, you're not. Maybe you're 50. Like people look at me and they're like, you look so young. And I'm like, well, that's the whole thing about like deciding it's for you because other people are seeing it too, not just you, but it affects so many different levels of your health. So I'm not taking, I don't take any medication and people are like, wow, that's amazing. So it just, yeah, I mean, there's so many things you have to make the decision and just do it.
I love that. Well, Liz, thank you so much for coming on here, for sharing your story. If you are listening to this and you are like, wow, like that's incredible. I would never have guessed your age, by the way, that you're gonna be 61. You look amazing. So if you are, 60, 61 years old and you want to look and feel amazing, message us, be like Liz. And it's just a conversation. It's not a commitment. And you're, ready to kind of put yourself first. Liz, thank you so much for taking the time today to spend with us. I hope you have an awesome, awesome day.